now. There are actually two speakers here. We have from France, we have Matthew Housson, whom we've heard from already from the CNRS, who's a researcher in a team on the history of astronomy. And we have Ségolène Alboui, who's also the digital project manager. So let's go back to Paris now to talk about metadata and front end in this DISH-US project in medieval astronomical tables.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will share my screen. Okay. And begin the presentation. I don't know if Mathieu is there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, yeah, okay, great.
So I'm going to begin shortly. First, thank the organization and the patience of the organizer for having us. So we want to present you DISH-A, or part of the DISH-A project, to maybe engage a little bit of reflection about this aspect of metadata and front end and how they are connected. So maybe we can move to the next slide, Ségolène. Please. Okay. Yeah, this one. So this is just if you want to go on the website while we speak, you can just pick this up quickly. disha.obspm. Kind of strange, but that's the address. So why DISH-A? Maybe you can put that in the chat. So DISH-A is a project that was started about four years ago now already. And in fact, it's 3 different projects that each study a different tradition of mathematical astronomy. So the project Ptolemaeus Arbut et Latinus, that is in Munich, where they study Ptolemy in Latin and Arabic, and where they, especially for the Arabic side, have Benno van Dalen, who is a specialist of table. Yeah, okay. And so they are having Arabic tables. We in the ALPHA project in Paris Observatory are studying what we call Alphonsine astronomy. So this is the late medieval astronomy, the one just before Copernicus, so to say. And there was also the project AMSI by Clemency Montel in New Zealand, in fact, and they are dealing with Sanskrit sources. And each of our project, we wanted to look at astronomical sources and wanted to publish them online in some ways. And instead of doing 3 different little tools, we decided to try to make one tool for all of the project together. And this is how DISH-A was started. Okay, so the principle around which we wanted to build DISH-A was its first, and let's say generally an open science kind of idea. So first we wanted to share the data on which we make our publication. And especially you will see for the moment, the astronomical tables. We wanted this to be open access and to be in fact a real tool for edition, so that the table that are here made by colleagues who contribute to the database, they have their DOI and we can really quote them. Around this data, we also want to build some common tools. There are many routine of analysis for the tables and later for the diagrams that we are going to consider that are common and that each scholar was doing more or less with his own little procedure on his side. We decided to try really to build this tool commonly. And yes, the idea to also link sources in Arabic, sources in Sanskrit, sources in Latin, and also sources in Chinese, in fact, was to make us able as a community to study more efficiently the connection between all these mathematical astronomy tradition, which in many cases we could say are kinds of sisters to each other, and we wanted to understand transmission phenomenon around tables more accurately. So this is like the long-term scientific goal. How we did work together. So there are each of our 3 domains, and in fact our 4 domain with Chinese colleagues as well, has its own, let's say, historiographical tradition, way to address the sources that depend both on the nature of the sources that each of us studied, but also on historiographical habits that were taken during the last 50 or 60 years. And so for many cases, we had a slightly different vocabulary, different way of referring to things, slightly different questions and tools. And a great part of the work, especially during, let's say, the first year or even the first 2 years, was really to talk to each other and to try to build this common vocabulary. And to do this work also by working from the start with the engineers and the data specialists, data model specialists, so that we can shape this vocabulary in a way that also creates a data model that is common to all of us. So we are speaking about standardization and how we can make database communicate. We tried this from the start, let's say, somehow. And on this data model, then it was possible to build different tools, among them visualization tools that maybe we are going to speak about. So the document that we are looking at in our different tradition, they have mainly these 3 kinds of let's say text or inscription, maybe, I don't know exactly what word to use, but they have these 3 kinds of content. Let's put it like this. So the tables, numerical tables to be more precise, many different kinds of diagrams that are used. Here you have a diagram that is kind of in the Ptolemaic tradition, we could say, but you have diagram of instrument, many kinds of diagrams, and all sorts of different text as well. And so when we discussed together and asked ourselves, where do we start? Are we starting with diagram, with text, or with tables? We thought that, well, many of us are working on text, and probably the tools are going to evolve quite fast in the coming years around text. A little bit less, but there is a general visual turn in history of science. So many projects are dealing with image and diagram, a little less, but image in general. And so we thought also maybe it's good to wait a little bit for diagram. But we knew that not so many people were dealing with tables apart from historians of astronomy. There are few persons that we encountered that are doing history of accountability or history of economy, market things that encounter table as well, but they are kind of different and there are not so many as well. So we thought it's safe to start with table. It's something where we are more or less alone and where nobody is going to do it if we don't do it ourselves, right? So this is where we started with the numerical tables. And so it has taken us 4 or 5 years to build a tool that is now, we think, well, there are always improvements we can think of, but at least a useful tool we believe now. And so yes, the last slide is about the team. So it was a project involving many different colleagues. Here you see Beno. Well, those who recognize them will recognize them, but many young and more senior scholars. And it's also something that I wanted to underline in this short introduction about this kind of digital humanity project, is that you get to talk to a lot of different people. And that's a nice part of the work also, I think. And it's also where we can build new and useful things for each of our scholarly community.
Well, I can go on with so I am the digital project manager. So I manage the platform, and for the platform to work, we had at the beginning to define a data model. So in order to gather the sources of very various origins and periods. The first step was to settle on a data model that would describe and define the astronomical table in their diversity. So we have various kind of material sources at the beginning, and we needed to put them in a model that will be able to manipulate them with a computer. So how to begin with those kind of tables and end up with some kind of spreadsheet. So the data model we came up is divided in two parts, as you can see. So there is one part on the right side that is dedicated to historical aspects of the tables, and the other part on the left is more dedicated to the astronomical, mathematical, and a little bit editorial aspects of the table. So yeah. And so the table in the database is represented in two ways. So you have on one hand the table witness, which is the table as you can find it in a manuscript or early printed material. So this table in the database is related to an author, that is the historical actor that was at the origin of the table. The dates of the table are the dates where the table was originally created. And on the other hand, you have the table edition that is linked to an editor. And the editor is a researcher. So we consider that the table witness always have an edition, so an interpretation of the table, a transcription. And so on this database model, we consider that the table values are linked to the table edition and not to the table witness, because we consider that the researcher put his interpretation to transcribe the table. So first of all, DISHA was meant to be an edition platform. So it was so we built DISHA as a working environment for editing tables. So from their transcription to their publication and visualization. So how the platform is built? So you have a back office that is dedicated to inputting the data. It's only the researcher have an access to this back office, and only researchers can add data to the database. It's meant to be used as a data management tools and to have a global overview on the data. And the other part of the platform is the front office that is open to the public and is meant to showcase the corpus and present the project. And in the front office, we have built a number of data visualization in order to contextualize the data and to weave link between the records in the database. So for now, we have more than 200 published editions that are linked to 460 table contents. So an edition might comprehend more table content. So that's why we have more table content, so more table with values in it, numerical values in it, than edition. And we have a number of table witnesses and models, so mathematical models that describe the number in the table and parameters as well. So how do we populate the database? So first we needed a tool to input a table in the database. So how do you enter and input a table in a database? So we built DTI, so it means DISHA Table Interface. So as you can see, DTI pretty much look like an Excel, but it's dedicated to astronomical tables. So you see here is a double argument tables. So you have the argument there and the entries there. So, and in pink here, you have the critical, the variance. So in DTI, you can build critical editions of tables. So you gather different tables from different sources, and you put them together, and you have a variance that appears automatically. So here you see you have the critical apparatus just there. So very quickly, the feature that we have built in DTI, we have a number of input features that allows to the researcher to input more easily the table values. So you can just manually enter them, but you have a tool for interpolation, for example, when you take two values and you interpolate between those values automatically. You have a tool for symmetry, so you duplicate the values by applying mirror or periodic symmetry on the table values. You have, so as I said, automatic critical addition. So this is a program that was originally developed within the HAMC project. It's called Kate, and you just can gather several sources table and produce a critical addition automatically. And you have also a tool for predicting the table value automatically using a mathematical model that is defined in the database. You have also a number of manipulation or analysis features in DTI. So you can automatically compute the first and second difference between the table values in order to see how the values within the table are progressing. You can also visualize the table in a graph way. So for one argument table, it's just a bar chart, and for two arguments tables, it's a heat map. You have also a way to predict automatically the implicit parameter that were used in the tables, and a way to manage different kind of historical numbers with conversion and precision control. And on the other hand, so this was the tool for inputting the data, and we have also created a view interface in order to consult those additions, because we believe that having the data in a database is great, but it's also, if DISHA is meant to be an edition platform, we had to build an interface that is really dedicated to consulting the table values. So this is how it would look like, the edition in the public interface. So as you can see, there are you have the variants that are in blue, in different shades of blue in the interface, and that indicates the number of variants that are present in the same cell. So you have a number of ways we designed in order to give clue to the public to really read the table in a better way, because editing table in a paper form is really difficult. And so the whole table is interactive, so you can click on any value and navigate with the hierarchies, etc. And you have the critical apparatus that is also linked to the table, etc. So, and as you can see, there is a number of tabs. So in the view interface, so you have the tab for table values, as you could see. You have a tab dedicated to the editorial context to show the intellectual parentage of the table edition. So if the table edition was based on another edition, etc. You have also a tab dedicated to the astronomical context to identify models, mathematical models or parameters that are linked to the table, and obviously the historical context that is to give context on the creation milieu of the table. So all the editions are systematically associated with a DOI, so and they can be thus cited in a perennial way. But DISHA is not only an edition platform, it's also a platform for showcasing the whole corpus, because the table are in the center of the database, but they are described with a number of other kind of entities. So an edition is linked to many records, and those records can be explored through several means. So the first mean we designed is obviously a search page. So you can search for a specific type of content, and you have a number of query you can build in order to really specific pick for certain kind of records. You have also visualization to visualize a specific kind of record. So this is an example of the visualization dedicated to the visualization of a manuscript. So here you have the representation of the folios within the manuscript with their content. So each square represents a table within the manuscript, and each color is associated with an astronomical object. So as you can see, you begin with Saturn, and then you have smaller tables at the end. You have also on any record page a sidebar, and its sidebar is displaying the metadata describing the record, and each metadata is linked to magnifier icon. And on clicking, if you click on the magnifier icon, you have access to all the primary sources that share the same metadata. So for example, if you want to look at all the primary sources that were originating within a 100-kilometer radius from Erfurt, Germany, you can browse the corpus like this. I will be very quick. And then you have also global visualization. So this is, for example, a chronological map where you can select a period of time and see what were the primary sources and works that were created at this period. So after that, you have a number of analysis tools. So you have DIPS, which allows you to retrieve implicit parameters within the tables. So DIPS was designed to approximate how astronomical tables were calculated. And you have also a way to compare the tables, the historical tables with our modern mathematical models. And DIPS was also designed to retrieve implicit astronomical parameters through, so the interface is designed through a number of steps using statistics, where you manipulate the table in order to retrieve the parameter at the end. So it looks like this with a number of data visualization, with each point representing a table value, and you can visualize the difference between the predicted value from the modern model and the values from the tables, the historical table. We also have built Canon, which is a Python library to compute as historical astronomer. So it's we try to replicate programmatically the mathematical practices of historical astronomer, and to centralize and make all the tools interoperable. And so we have a number of features within Canon, and we have built also a web interface in order to use those Python library. So you can build horoscope, ephemerides, you have a calculator in historical number bases, and a calendar converter as well. So as you can see, it's quite nicely presented, and you have you can build a horoscope very easily, as well as ephemerides. And we have also a perspective for our project. So mainly the goal is to add more data in the database in order to have a database that is a corpus that is representative to what we want to study. And we have also a project of table transcriber. So we have built a model to segment tables, segment cells of the table using machine learning, and we are using the eScriptorium platform, eScriptorium web interface in order to implement this model and to transcribe more easily table using machine learning and eScriptorium in order to provide more tables to the DSHAS database, etc. And lastly, we are building also DSHA for diagrams, as Mathieu mentioned at the beginning. And I think I'm done.
Thank you, Ségolène. Thank you, Mathieu, for this very detailed and interesting project that you've developed.